as we conducted our social experiment titled Seeing Strangers' Reaction Towards a Loving Mother. We saw a lot of people's reaction on how they were touched by our scenes, and that some people care for a loving mother. And we also observed the outcome of an intervention for the participants with and without the intervention. A homeless and separated spouse and a mother was going to do everything just to sustain their daily needs, and she will do her best to give her daughter a better life. The social experiment video starting Miss Yen Sugian and her daughter, along with the rest of the crew. In the video, there's a mother who sells turon at a well-known fast food in the city, and some of the customers buy the turon, and most of them approach Miss Sugian properly. Miss Sugian is so happy because she sells a lot of turon in the fast food. Most of the crew in the fast food restaurant stares badly at Miss Sugian and her daughter because it's their first time seeing someone who sells inside the establishment. After that, two members of our group acted as a customers, namely Miss Twinkie and Mr. Kenneth, and as a couple. And we set a plan that if Miss Sugian approached the couple, Miss Twinkie would be directly mad and shout at Miss Sugian because Miss Twinkie is stressed in school works and she got a lot of problems that she faces in life. And Miss Sugian would automatically feel disrespected, so she would shout and cry. While talking to Miss Twinkie, and Mr. Kenneth would comfort her and say sorry to Miss Sugian. In the video, there's a mother who sells turon at a well-known school in the city, and some of the students and bystanders, most of them didn't buy the turon, but they approached Miss Sugian properly. After Miss Sugian and her daughter walk and sell the turon at the gate of SGIT, two of our members in the group, namely Miss Ray Jane and Miss Alexis, act like they'll approach Miss Sugian and buy her turon.
Na uy, busog pa manggit ko uy. Mangita na lang to dito sa unahan ta. Unahan na lang ta. Basig kuan ba kanang basig na day mga saging-saging. Oh, uy mo na tag-unggoy yan ni youth. Ay, nay kuan mo. Nay. Turun. Kuan ka? Oh, naitan. Tagpila na.
And Miss Regine, on the other hand, keeps asking about Miss Sugian's life, and their conversation continues.
Diri ako na. Ay, pila na ti. Tagpila na siya ti. Tagsa. Pila ka ba? Hala uy, ang uban 5 ra na dito abo sa mga kuan ti. Pat ka buok.
Dugoy na ka nagwala din ang tinda. Dugoy na po.
Namian ate oy. Oh, pati.
Kanina lang nabiling yung asati.
Ibo nang anak te, pila edad na te?
3 years old na siya.
Ay mao.
Muna giting trabaho di wala na ilain. Ma'am, saging ma'am. Basing gusto mong saging.
While that happened, another two of our members act, namely Miss Arabella and Miss Twinkie, In the middle of the busy hallway of SGIT, Miss Arabella and Miss Twinkie talk while they were walking in the hallway and keep talking. They didn't see that there was someone there, and immediately Miss Arabella bumped into Miss Sugian.
Hoy! Hoy! Hello! Kat-
Di nga na magatang mapupudri sa agyanan, ma'am. Man. Ano magatang man po mo agyanan man?
Ano, ma'am? Magyanan eh.
Tanaw po, tanaw mo sa inyong hinagihanan.
Dili man dapat ko ako maligya ni. Dili dapat ka na kay agyanan man na.
As that happened, we saw a lot of students react and also help Miss Sugian get their turons that dropped on the floor.
Direte. Okay ra kate.
And most of them stare badly at the actresses while that scene happened. Immediately after that, the actress left the area and many people were mad for what happened, which is good because we can now conclude this time. As we have seen on the video, in the first scene in the fast food, most of people stare at Miss Twinkie and it is concluded that most of the people care but they choose to be observant for what happened. In the second scene, many people reacted to what happened to Miss Sugi and after she was bumped by Miss Arabella and Miss Twinkie because they were blocking the way. As we have seen from the reactions of the students and the bystanders, nowadays most people will help someone is in need because, as we all know, not all people nowadays still have the mindset that if someone needs help, they'll help one another. That is one of the good mentalities of the Filipinos that signifies our pagtutulungan.
Ang bata ti.
Testing the people's truthfulness and being helpful to someone who needs most, especially in crowded and public places. In this video, we'll learn whether people in this generation will still help someone in need, and will people still be truthful and still return staff after accidentally dropping it. In the video, there's a student named Miss Twinkle who's been busy with schoolwork and rushed into a crowd full of students, where she accidentally dropped her papers. And on the first video, we saw a bunch of students helping Miss Twinkle with the papers on the ground. This means that we successfully conducted the social experiment and got a positive result in the first scene. In the second scene, we're going to the SMCT Booth 1 to conduct our social experiment, testing people's truthfulness and being helpful to someone who needs it most, especially in crowded and public places. So, Miss Twinkle suddenly dropped her wallet in the middle of the family, who stood by somewhere in the side of the store on the second floor. After that happens, Miss Twinkle doesn't recognize that her wallet has dropped somewhere. But suddenly, there's a kid who sees that the wallet has dropped and he runs to Miss Twinkle and gives it to her. So, as you can see, all of it was a successful, and we are already happy with the result of our social experiment. It gave us a lot of lessons and hope after testing people's truthfulness and being a Filipino who helps everyone who's in need. We came to a lot of realization that in this generation and still in this time, many people will help those in need. And despite what others might say, the Filipino personality of being helpful and generous is still there. And we, from the Group 4, are so happy that the result of our social experiment has a positive result.